New intro. So much love and appreciation to those of you who have been with me for the 2 year period plus that I've been doing this. Thank you for showing your love and support to the channel. And to anybody else who is brand new to the platform and you would like to support the channel, also, you can do it by way of Patreon, Anchor, the clothing store, and also the shoe shop that is listed in the comment description below. And again, thank you to any and all of you guys who have been here to support this channel during the 2+ year period. I wouldn't be able to do what I do every single day without you. Celia Williams is turning her anger into action. She's pushing Missouri legislation to support a proposed new law that she named Bentleys Law after her 5-year-old grandson. Quote, the main aspect of Bentleys Law is financial responsibility by the offender. Williams began working on new legislation that targets drunk drivers after an accident in April on Highway 30 in Byron's Mill that claimed the life of 3 loved ones: her son, Cordell Williams, his fiancee, Lacey Newton, and their 4-month-old son, Cordell Williams II, were killed when the car they were in was rear ended and went off the road and crashed. David Thurby of Fenton is now charged with 3 counts of DWI, death of another. His blood alcohol level was twice the legal limit, and according to court documents, he told the trooper he'd had several shots of Crown and water. Williams is now raising the couple's 2 other children, 3-year-old Madison and 5-year-old Bentley, whom the legislation is named after. She wants to see a new law that would require drunk drivers who cause the death of a parent or parents to pay child support to the living spouse or the relatives raising the victim's children until the children turn 18 years of age. Quote, they deserve to get that compensation because you're talking about raising children that their parents are no longer here. Missouri State Representative Mike Henderson of Bonnie Terry plans to introduce Bentley's Law during the next legislative session. Quote, I do firmly believe that these people who are driving drunk and take away the parents of these children, there's got to be some help for these children. It comes down to that. Williams believed that monthly child support payments would make an offender think twice before drinking and driving again. He stated that a state lawmaker in Tennessee has agreed to introduce a Bentley's Law in that state when the legislative session begins next year. Williams hopes to take her fight against drunk driving nationwide. Directly for the law, and I'm for it being passed, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of other people should also be for it as well. If anybody's pretty much against this, I guess you like enabling drunk drivers. I guess you don't like them taking full-fledged responsibility for the dangerous and life-altering and changing choices that they decide to make after they leave a friend's house, a bar, a party, or where have you, where they decide to have one too many drinks and then decide to get behind a vehicle, that weighs tons and it moves at very fast speeds, and it can do a lot of damage in a short amount of time. And like I said before, for anybody who would be 100% against this, I don't know what to say for you. You need to be locked up along with the people who commit to drinking while intoxicated. 100%. 100%. You know how many times I've covered a few stories where you've had cops that have done the exact same thing, but little to nothing was actually done. They were protected. Crazy. You know how many stories I've done where children have, lost their lives, or families have lost their lives, or, these individuals have caused, car pileups on the highways. It's ridiculous. Like I said before, at no point in time should any adult get behind a vehicle and decide that they want to try to drive home. This isn't the early 1900s. I'm just listing that just to say in general, right? This isn't back then. This isn't, the 70s, 80s, 90s, the start of the 2000s. We're in 2021 where you can literally call Lyft, you can call Uber, you can call a cab service, or they also have alternate services that you can call where you can be picked up from wherever you are. You can just leave your car there, and then go home and then come back and get your car in the morning when you're basically sobered up. Like I said, it makes zero sense for you as an adult to get behind the wheel of a car and drive and you know that you are intoxicated, knowing the fact that 9 times out of 10, when people actually drink and drive, the person that's behind the wheel isn't the one that ends up losing their life. It's everybody else that's not intoxicated. Riddle me that one. Riddle me how is it possible that the universe is like, you know what? We're not going to make sure that the person that's intoxicated lose their life. We're going to make sure everybody else does. I don't know what type of universal joke that is. I'm not sure where the punchline is. I'm not sure where it's even supposed to be funny because it's not. Because far too often, I've literally seen and watched videos where there was a horrendous crash and the person that was behind the wheel that was drunk gets out of the wreck pretty much unscathed because their body is relaxed. They're not reactionary because they're intoxicated. So everything is slowed down and impaired, right? But yet the people who are not intoxicated, they're tensing up and waiting for the impact, which then causes more trauma and more injury, directly to them, which is crazy to me, which is 100% crazy to me. Like I said before, a lot of things in this world, in this realm, is backwards. It's backwards. Like I said, the people who decide to go out there and do this, they should be the ones who are no longer here because you decided to do this. Like I said, I don't care who gets angry, I don't care who gets mad, I don't care how people basically feel about it. Because I put it to you like this. The moment in time that you decide to step into a vehicle and you know you had one too many drinks, you're like, oh man, I done did it, enough times and ain't nothing happened. I ain't never. That's okay. You like playing Russian roulette. You like playing dangerous games. You like playing very dangerous games. I'm going to sit up there and tell you, you play stupid games, you're gonna win stupid prizes. You're gonna end up having your face plastered in one of these stories. And I ain't gonna have nothing else to say. Because I promise you, the same people saying, like, oh, I done it a multitude of times and I ain't never. All right, let somebody else decide to drink and drive and take the lives of one of your family members. Let me know how you feel then. Is it still ha ha he he? Is it still okay then? But I promise you, even with that happening, you still going to sit up there and drink and drive though, right? Like I said, some people never learn. Some people don't understand up until it's them that gets affected. And that's the saddest thing of all. I would hope and wish that it would get to a point in time that people would just gain common sense. Just start reading up, just start looking at stuff like anything possible to just gain some type of common sense so that things like this don't happen. Nobody deserves to lose their life because somebody decided that, yo, this is a good day to drink and drive. Nobody deserves that. Nobody deserves to have to sit up there and decide to plan funeral arrangements for a child because you decided to drink and drive. Nobody should be forced to raise somebody else's children because you decided to make the decision to drink and drive. Nobody should have to incur hospital visits, thousands of dollars, or maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars, which they can't even afford because you decided that you wanted to drink and drive. But like I said, I can't tell, grown people what to do because adults always think that they know what's best. And every single time I do stories and I look around and I'm looking at all of these quote unquote so-called adults, I'm like, what happened to knowing what was best? What happened to that common sense that you had? What happened to all of that wiseness? I guess it didn't exist. I guess you're just saying stuff just to sound good. Because at the end of the day, every time I look at these stories, it's something like this. Yet people claim to be adults when realistically they're children. And this is what happens. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about the story and everything that I've stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.